What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Onyx. We back on Onyx TV with another banger. Today we about to be reacting to Women Wanting Camron podcast canceled for saying this about Cassie. So with that being said, you already know we're finna hop straight into the video.
For an interview he did with a man that Diddy paid to be involved in a rendezvous with him and Cassie.
I seen also in the transcripts that you would say that it was just a scene in the beginning. Nothing, no intercourse. How long until you had actual intercourse? What was happening in the first few sessions when it wasn't any intercourse?
Nah, it was only the first session where it wasn't intercourse.
Okay, so 10 times, one time it was only not intercourse the first time.
The first time. And it was offered, yo. But I was so bugged out. Like this wasn't my hustle, right? So right. I'm really in there thinking this is a married couple and they want to do some voyeur scene. Mm-hmm. So we did the set up on the couches, the baby all rubbed down or whatever. And then at some point, Puff jumped up. I didn't know it was him. He left the room. She left the room to talk to him, and she came back like, yo, that was perfect. We happy. We good.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. I seen the interview. I don't think Camron said nothing too crazy, bro, to get canceled, honestly. But, hey, we're gonna see.
And then she said to me, yo, do you want to finish? Meaning, I guess, do I want to bust a you know what I'm saying? Right. And my first example, I'm trying to be professional. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like, if y'all good, I'm good. This ain't about me. And I just left, But she did say, all right, well, when we get back in town, we want to hit you again. Is it okay? I'm like, yeah, I just got $2K to rub down like a super bad chick. So of course I'm down if you want to hit me back. But it was offered to me the first time, and I actually turned it down. Trying to be on some professional.
Right. Was baby oil mandatory?
Down like a super bad shit.
Mandatory,
yeah. He got a baby oil. That's just mandatory.
I don't know what people were expecting exactly from Camron. Were they expecting a Barbara Walters-esque interview where essentially Cassie is being exalted up as the victim and they're having sympathy and a prayer for Cassie after 30 seconds of talking about what she endured? Yo, Camron makes content for the average street dude, bro. Camron says and think like the average street dude, bro. So Camron is going to ask the questions that the barbershop is wondering. And almost immediately, bro, Camron got to the nonsense, bro.
Do you consider Puff a cuckold?
Yeah, I mean, the whole time, that's what I thought it was.
Right.
Yeah, I thought it was.
It's because you keep using the word voyeur. This is cuckold activity.
Yeah,
we're going
to step it up to cuckold.
That or the voyeur.
Yeah. So I'm saying voyeur because that's what she said to me.
Right.
When I came
back. You know why? Because they down. You know why? Because voyeur don't seem as bad as cuckold. So they downplay it with the I'm just a voyeur. Nah, you was an official cuckold, nigga. Because voyeur can mean you watching anybody, not your girl. Cuckold is when your girl is in play. You know what I'm saying? So
this is not something you would hear on Piers
Morgan.
Yes, but Camron is correct. I do believe that Diddy and Cassie was trying to mask up what it really was. Diddy coming from the urban environment, Diddy being a mogul in hip-hop, Diddy having to run around hip-hop with acting super masculine, both parents coming from the hood, both parents was really treacherous. Diddy being around gangsters his entire life, he probably didn't want to come to the realization that he's the poster child for that. Because when it comes to cuckold, a lot of people assign those attributes to white men. Very seldom do you see somebody like Diddy, somebody like him being that. Now, I don't know if it's Diddy just smashed 1,000 women and automatically began to, crave certain things, or if he was just born. Camron then proceeded to ask the Punisher a question that I believe a lot of his demographic wanted to know. Not me, not Flacco, because when I think about somebody like Cassie, well, one, I don't really find Cassie that attractive, to be honest. But when I think about what essentially she was saying she had to endure, or the accusation she's making about it not being all the way consensual, I'm not even going towards anything for self-gratification, right? Because when I hear about Cassie talk about her experiences, talk about how, she did not want to do this consensually, I'm not thinking about the sexual part of things, bro. I'm thinking about the abuse. But
Facts.
Camron asked a question that made people think he didn't care about Cassie's experience.
Yeah. How was
I
that?
think they generation,
Is your child
though,
struggling with a gaming addiction?
them niggas
Major
probably was
companies
crushing on
behind
Cassie
games
and
like
shit.
Minecraft, Fortnite, and Roblox are now facing lawsuits for knowingly
You know how we
designing
crush on
addictive
girls
features that keep
in our
kids
day and
playing.
See though.
So niggas probably just want to know, not trying to be weird.
I mean, bro, even if it was fire,
Bro, was the pussy good for your family? Let's stop with political shit. We was Harlem time, man. You 39th Street on 40th. Was the pussy? How was that pussy, man?
bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I couldn't get there, bro.
Okay.
Like I got a dude pacing back and forth, beating his joint. You know
When I
what I'm
watched
saying?
this video, he said this nigga
My
really had a Muslim
peripherals,
mask on.
my spider senses is wilding. You know what I'm saying? And especially when
Muslim
I
mask
found
on is
out
crazy.
it was Puff. When I found out it was Puff, it got all the way worse because if you grew up in Harlem, if you grew up in that era, I can't validate it, but everybody knows there's rumors, right? There's rumors that he could be, you know, interested in dudes. So the whole time I'm semi-paranoid. Like I wrote in my book, bro, for real. I got a hearing problem.
Right.
And sometimes when he would give her directions, I would hear like something completely different. Like,
I'm not gonna say Camron asking how good a victim's coochie is appropriate, because it's not really appropriate in the grand scheme of things. But you gotta know your audience, bro. Camron audience thinks that's the most insightful, that's the most hilarious, that's the most important question during this entire interview. That's truly what they think. So should Camron, I guess, cater to the masses or cater to his audience? Cater to your audience, right? As long as you're not doing nothing illegal, I guess, or if you're not advocating for anybody being harmed, then, you know, I don't feel like you are doing anything that's too crazy that we need to cancel you for. But women clearly do. Now, before we get back to the interview and hear this particular dude talk about how he was paranoid, all right, that booty chaser Diddy would have gotten him mid freak off. Let's just read some of the comments of these ladies going off on Camron. A user by the name of I'm Ginger with AJ wrote, degrading a woman who was tortured for years, shaking my effing head. Also, Tokyo says, and y'all still not gonna cancel him. Yo, there is a section of people, and I do know, Camron, like some of Camron's audience don't believe that Cassie was the perfect victim, but there are people who believe, yo, that Cassie is a victim, and she was tortured, and she underwent like anguish. So to kind of sexualize her or objectify her in that manner is pissing off a lot of people, bro. Right? Do I feel like Camron is gonna get canceled? No, because you can't cancel somebody that you don't support, right? You're not Camron's audience, so hence you can't cancel Camron. A user by the name of Trey E. Trey says, such a turnoff, so childish. When does growing up and maturity happen? Weirdo behavior. I do think Camron is probably gonna ostracize a lot of his female fan base over this. A lawyer who actually is representing a few Diddy victims, she claims that she has access, or she has a video of one of the free calls involving like a very important pop star. I don't know. People were claiming that Ariel has the Justin Bieber free call tape, but who knows? We haven't heard much about it. And she was representing a woman who was suing Chris Brown, who lied on Chris Brown because Chris Brown showed receipts that this lady was lying. And then Ariel dropped her once it became pretty evident that she can't profit from this lady lying on Chris Brown. So Ariel has always been somebody who a lot of people have looked at with like a side eye. She claims that she wants to buy the trademark for Camron's show and send him a cease and desist. If you think that Camron don't got a trademark for his show, you're out of your mind, bro. It's wishful thinking, but I guess now they're waging war on like Camron and his show. Lady Run Your Bucks stated, cancel the show. Where is cancel culture when it comes to protecting women? I don't see how Camron was attacking Cassie. I don't see how Camron was bringing harm to Cassie. Cancel culture. Enlightened Sister says, Cam has a daughter. I wonder how he feel if it was his daughter who was violated and some celeb was cracking jokes. This was so whack and corny. I don't feel like Camron was joking. I feel like Camron really wanted to know the answer to this, right? And you see other people here who are extremely upset. I don't think Camron was joking. I don't feel like Camron was trying to degrade Cassie or humiliate Cassie. I feel like people in Camron's demographic has always had a thing for Cassie because Cassie was the it girl for a while. And people have always fantasized or wonder what Cassie would feel like. So people like Camron or people with, you know, a similar mindset, his audience, his demographic, they wanted to know the answer to that question. I'm a little younger, so I didn't really experience the era where Cassie was like the young Miami, where Cassie was like, I don't know, like the Jada Waiter and the Ari. I never got to experience that, so I never finished Songs About Cassie. By the time I got older, Cassie really wasn't hot to me. But yeah, Camron's demographic grew up fantasizing about Cassie, and they wanted to know. Now, this is some form of voyeurism, so maybe, I don't know, they could probably be accused of being cucks themselves, right? I feel like the funniest part about this interview, though, is Punisher essentially expressing how worried he was for his booty because Diddy was asking weird questions and doing weird things.
Game of Thrones King's Road is now available for both PC and mobile with Google Play.
Like he'll say, yo, I like the position you in, and I'm like, yo, did he just say I wish I could penetrate him? Like, hearing, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm hearing, like, yo, hold up, wait, what did he just say? Like,
so basically, you never could get comfortable because. So let's just be clear and get the elephant out the room for the audience. You're not gay? You're saying?
Absolutely not.
Bro. Right. So I was reading that in the beginning, you didn't even know what was going on, that it was even Puff was participating. Could you explain your first time going to one of these events?
Any man who was in that position with Diddy and you don't have those concerns and you not clenching your booty hole a little bit more tighter so Diddy don't get no wiggle room. If you not moving like that, if you don't have those concerns, if you not paranoid about Diddy taking your booty, then I'm looking at you as if you roll that way too. I'm looking at you as if you flexible too. As if you doing tricks on it too. Because why would you be comfortable being, like that exposed in a room
I'm wondering if you flexible too.
Why? But y'all let me know, man. Do y'all believe that this will affect Camron's career at all? Do y'all feel like the podcast is in trouble because women are now upset at Camron for asking these questions? Do y'all believe that Camron was out of pocket for asking these questions?
How y'all feel, man? Hit that comment section. Let me know.
I personally wouldn't ask these questions because I don't feel like my demographic will really care about knowing how good Cassie Coochie is, right? But if Camron believes his demographic would like it, then he has to ask the hard questions and probably take the brunt for it. Let me know in the comment section, okay? And if you're still watching, click on this video here somewhere on my screen, All
right, y'all. That's the conclusion of this video. That being said, you already know, man. We'll be back with another banger soon.